These are the three companies SpaceX heavily relies on: NVIDIA, TSMC, and ASML. You might be familiar with NVIDIA, but TSMC and ASML are arguably even more important. And the craziest part? Most people have never even heard of these companies. And it's not just SpaceX that heavily relies on them. I'm talking about almost every major tech company in the world. They all depend on these three companies in one way or another. But why? That's exactly what this video is about. First, let's start with ASML and understand what they actually do. This is an ASML machine. It uses EUV to print the patterns of billions of transistors onto a semiconductor wafer. If we look at any modern chip, it contains billions of transistors and the tiny wires that connect them together. These chips are found in computer CPUs that we use every day, GPUs that power gaming and AI, smartphones, and even rocket technology like Starship and Falcon 9, which also contain specialized chips. If we look at Starlink satellites, they also contain RF chips, processors, and custom silicon. So wherever chips are involved, billions of transistors and tiny wires are involved as well. And these modern transistors are incredibly small, about 3 to 5 times smaller than a coronavirus, just to give you an idea of their scale. Those transistors and wires are built layer by layer, almost like constructing a tiny city in a modern chip. All of them work together to power the chips that we use in a vast variety of technologies, from smartphones to SpaceX satellites. To manufacture a chip, TSMC uses many advanced tools. But ASML's machines are among the most important tools that TSMC uses to create the tiny transistor and wire city we just talked about. There are many other tools required to manufacture a complete chip, but ASML's lithography machines are arguably the most important. If ASML suddenly disappeared, TSMC would not be able to manufacture the world's most advanced chips. Using ASML's machines and many other advanced manufacturing tools, TSMC produces chips for companies like NVIDIA, Apple, SpaceX, and many others. Today, TSMC manufactures the majority of the world's most advanced chips. If TSMC disappeared, the global technology supply chain would almost freeze. Now let's talk about NVIDIA. Most people think NVIDIA physically manufactures its own chips, but that's actually not true. NVIDIA designs its chips using computer software. Think of it like an architect creating the blueprint for a very complex building. That's essentially what NVIDIA does. But instead of designing buildings, it designs chip architectures. Once NVIDIA finishes the chip design, it sends the design files to TSMC. Then, TSMC physically manufactures the chips. After TSMC completes the manufacturing process, NVIDIA installs those chips into its graphics cards and AI hardware before selling them to customers. So it may look like NVIDIA builds the entire product by itself, but if you look closely, there are many companies involved, including ASML, TSMC, and many other suppliers. Manufacturing a modern chip isn't easy. Every step requires decades of expertise, whether it's chip design, lithography, manufacturing, packaging, or testing. So you can see how important these three companies are to the entire technology industry. From computers and smartphones to rockets and satellites, wherever advanced chips are involved, these three companies are involved as well. That's why, if these three companies disappeared, SpaceX and countless other technology companies would be affected severely. And it wouldn't just affect companies, it would affect all of us. Remember the massive PS5 shortage during 2020 to 2021 when prices skyrocketed? That happened because of the global chip shortage. Sony simply couldn't manufacture enough PS5 consoles. So that gives you an idea of just how important these three companies are. And to reducing dependence on companies like TSMC and NVIDIA was also one of the reasons Elon Musk started Terafab, a massive chip manufacturing project. Musk has said that existing suppliers won't be able to meet the future chip demand of Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI. He even spoke with ASML's CEO, whose company makes the advanced lithography machines Terafab would need. I made a separate video explaining Terafab in detail, so if you want to learn more, check out the link in the comment.